The next two videos in this series are going to be looking at the keyword friend. This video today is going to be looking at how it pertains to functions, and the next video is going to be looking at how it pertains to other classes. Now, a friend function will be able to access all of the members inside of a class as long as it's friends with that class, which means even those top secret private variables that we tried so hard to access in the past will be directly accessible to the friend function, proving that it's great to have friends with benefits. So we're going to be designing a function inside the main.cpp, which is going to be printing out a private variable that's inside of the box class, specifically inside the box header file. So go ahead and design that private variable now. I'm going to make the integer variable width. And now we know we're still going to need to make a function that'll be able to set this variable to something. In the past, we made a set variable and get variable function in order to allow us to set a certain value to the private variable and then print it out. We're not going to be making the get variable function because we're going to be using the friend function feature instead. But we will still need that set variable function, so we'll go ahead and make it right now. I'm going to write void because I'm not expecting anything in return. And I'm going to write set variable. And we're passing through the integer parameter w. And as you can guess, we're going to be setting the integer parameter w to width, right? So wherever we see w, it's going to be width. And we pass something through here as a parameter, it's going to set it to width and store it over here in the private area of the box header file. So I already designed a constructor up here. We don't need to look at that today. I write void box with 2 colons because we are working inside the box class. And I'll write set variable integer parameter w. And now I can write the body, which is simply going to be width is assigned w. So we set width to w. Wherever we see w, it means width. So anything that I set to w is also going to be set to width. So whatever I pass through will be width. Simple enough. Now we have everything designed inside of our box.cpp and our box.header. It's time to go ahead and make the function inside the main.cpp. Now I'm going to go ahead and write void because I'm also not going to be expecting anything in return. I'm just going to be printing something out. I'm going to call this print variable, right? Because I want to print the width out. And I'm going to need to pass something through here. If I'm making this a friend function, I will need to be passing through a box parameter. So I'm going to write box. And I'm going to write box object. So that will be the parameter that I'm going to be passing through. And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to write some simple printout, right? So now, if we pass through box parameter, are we done? If we just pass through this box object parameter, could I simply go ahead and use box object, a dot separator, write width because that's the variable I want to access, and will everything be fine now? Can I go ahead and access everything? Well, we see that we get an error here. And if I ask what the error message is, it's going to say the width is a private member of box. So we still have not made this a friend function of the class. Just because the class box has something that this function wants doesn't mean that this could be a friend function. If you walk up to someone on the street and say, you have something I want, let's be friends, not only are they not going to give you what you want, but they're also going to punch you in the nose, and now you're going to have a bloody nose, and you're still not going to have your private variables. So we want to avoid the bloody nose, and we need to remember, in real life, you can't just make somebody become your friend, they need to give you their friendship. So that same rule is going to apply today. We're going to allow the class to give the friendship away to the friend function. So we need to go inside of the box header file. Before I do that, I should probably go and prototype this because I'm writing this function after the main. So I'm going to need to go up here and write the header of the function. So void print variable box object. Now we need to go ahead and get the friendship. In order to get the friendship, we need to go into the box header over here. I need to go into the private area down here. I can write it below the variable, it works too. Write the keyword friend, and then simply write the header of the function. So void print variable box object. Simple enough. And you have to remember that keyword friend to be written before the data type. And you're only going to write that keyword here inside of the box header file right here. It's the only place you're going to write the keyword friend. So now if we go back to the main.cpp, we can actually see that the error message is about to disappear. There it goes. So it disappears. Now we have everything. Remember this. Remember we're passing through the parameter, which is going to be the box object. So we're passing through a box object as the parameter, and we still need to use a box object to access the variable width because that's how you access anything inside of the class. It's polite. So we're going to go into the main function over here. We know we need to start off with another object. So let's go ahead and create an object. We're going to say box object 2. So we create another object, and we need to always access the set variable function first because we need to set width to something. So I'll write box object 2. I'll put a dot separator. I'm going to write set variable, and I'm going to set this to 50, right? So now the width is set to 50, and I can go ahead and access the print variable function. I no longer have to use the box object and a dot separator because the print variable function is only a friend of that class. It's not actually inside the class, so you do not need to use an object to access it. Instead, we can just go and write print variable. Now we'll need to use this new box object, so I'll use box object 2. And I don't need to actually indicate that I write the word box, because that's only for making the object, and I need to make an object down here. So I can simply write box object 2. And if I were to go and print this out, now we're going to see that we're going to get the 50, which is what we set the width to. So we see right over here, we have 50. So that is exactly how we create a friend function. If you have any questions regarding friend functions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. The next video is going to be looking at friend classes. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the series.